I don't know why Facebook shut me down. But I'm gonna bring them back up, and we're gonna go for about 30 more minutes because I unfortunately I got to get out of here. Um, yes, I did. Look here. They look. See, I'm being called radical. Facebook shut me down, and I didn't even say a damn thing. look, Kenneth. I just told Philip. See, look. This is why I told people the other day to move to Black Planet, because I've been saying that we have no social media platform that we own, but fan base in Black Planet, as primitive as it is. And this is one of the main things I keep saying. And I don't think it happened. I'm just being facetious here, right? I don't think we're big enough for anybody to give a damn. Mm-hmm. But when you get to the point where people feel threatened, they'll start throttling your algorithm because it doesn't fit that agenda.
Exactly.
And I truly believe that, as Claude Anderson says, we are meant, the consumer base of African Americans drive the country. As you said, we don't produce nothing. We don't really own nothing. We don't really control anything, but we buy a lot of shit.
Yep.
Hey, I don't think it's up. It's not on Facebook now. They're saying you're live, but they don't show the new broadcast.
What I say, Philip. See, if people would say I'm paranoid. Well, what did Satchel Paige say? Just because you're paranoid don't mean they're not after you.
That's right.
And if you're on Black Planet, who's owned by Kathy Hughes and her son, who Kathy Hughes has been talking about this since 1998. She's been saying, look, these laws are going to cut out Black media and Black access to the internet if y'all keep staying asleep. She's been saying that. And not saying that this is happening right now, because I got people texting me right now. Hey, are you on? Are you coming back on? Are you texting them, Kenneth? Yeah, I am back on.
I can't. It won't let me share. This is interesting because it shows what it's doing. It's showing.
See, I told you not to let Philip. I told you not to let Philip come up on here. As long as we were two people, we were okay. You had to bring one more person on here that make us threatening.
Hey, I'm all in the water. I'm all in the water.
I told you. You know they don't like us gathering and huddling together. You know it.
Hey, I will say this. Have you guys been keeping? Well, guys probably aren't keeping track of this. I track more things that are strategic. My military background. Even now, I still track, even though I'm retired. I was doing I do work with analytics with Google. So I analyze some of the algorithms, I analyze some of the data and how they propagate it. And I give you an example, like Google is not allowed to present military bases or post. They're restricted areas.
Wow.
So if you try to Google a certain place, it'll say restricted or whatever. But what I've noticed is, and over the last probably 10, 15 years, there's a whole bunch of, if you notice, with the exception of Fort Gordon, there's a lot of land around most installations, unless they're in the heart of a city or close, or they're out like Fort Bliss, Fort Huachuca, a lot of places. The land outside of there is generally farmland or just barren land.
Right.
Guess who owns or has been purchasing a lot of that land?
Who?
Chinese.
China.
Why would we sell? Here's my question now, and don't get me wrong, I'm getting off topic.
I read that a couple of years ago.
Just for a second, I'm getting off topic, but it seems to me that if you're so worried about China and Russia and all these companies, why would you be selling your land to them? They do the same thing in Panama. You know who runs the grocery stores on the island where I live? The Chinese. They're the only ones who own grocery stores and the gas station. So why would you sell this? But this is government, Panamanian government, American government, doesn't matter. This is everywhere. Why would you sell land next to your military installations? Another question, an even more important question is, why would somebody buy land around your military installations. Like you said, chess. They're playing chess, not checkers. While we sitting here worried about the right hand, the left hand is doing all kind of crazy stuff. And we're allowing this. Our government is allowing this. So we've got, right now, our people have problems. And Leonard, you're right. We got to figure this out. We've got to. Otherwise, don't get me wrong. I'm in the mindset that I tell people now, like the Mexicans, and I know people like, that's wrong, that's wrong. Look, you get what you got because this is what you asked for. So, hey, we as Black people, we've been here. We're going to be here. We ain't going nowhere. We used to struggle. We can handle this. We ain't going to put no bullet to our head, but you do what you do. But my point is this. Now, and Kenneth alluded to this too, we have a bigger threat now. Not pushing our plight, the plight of our people to the side, but now we've got a bigger threat, like a security nationwide threat. Because now, and aside from the appointments, I'm not even talking about the appointments, this purchasing of land around our installations has been going on for years, and nobody has said much of anything about it. And what people I need to understand is these aren't farms. I guarantee you these aren't farms. Oh. These places are not producing food for any kind of industry. What they are doing is watching us closely from the inside. What do they say? One statement that, and I'm not a Trump fan, I can't stand him because he's a terrible human being. I don't even care about his policies. He's just a terrible person in general. But one thing he said, he made a statement about the enemy within. Now, the context was terrible because he's talking about using our own military against our own people. But the enemy within is the truth because we're allowing the enemy inside where we live. How do you destroy the body the fastest? From within. Yes, you feed it bad food. You feed it bad water. That's how you take out a people. We're allowing them right into our country.
Can I say this?
But that's my tangent. I want to get back on topic, but that was my tangent.
I want to address that tangent because I got like 15 more minutes. Let me say this. The Chinese have a long memory. One of the things about having kids and watching Disney movies, they always throw these little nuggets in Disney movies. like you if you yes. But the kids don't get it, but you adult, you watching it, you go, what did you just say?
Like,
and
yeah.
and one of the things that the Chinese say is they have long memories. Mm-hmm. And the Chinese have literally, and I'm gonna get back to the Black community, literally realized that Americans are addicted to cheap prices. And Americans will give up a lot for cheaper prices.
Yep.
The Black community, this is what I was saying, Philip, earlier. The Black community, when I got here talking about just brick masons and stone masons, what happened was, it wasn't that they weren't doing good jobs. They were doing great work because some of the guys that work with me would tell me, man, I used to work for Mr. Coswell, and Mr. Coswell was making so much money. Mr. Coswell would advances our checks, which, Philip, you know, if you're advancing checks, you're making a lot of goddamn money. and he would charge them 25 cents on the dollar. So if they borrowed 75 because they blew their money, he's charging them 70. What is that? 75, 25 cents for every 75, every dollar they borrow. So they get 75 cents back. But in order to do that, he had to be making some loot.
Yep.
Philip, you know that he had to have money in the bank because that means he was getting business out the wazoo.
That's right.
Because he could take that money and do other stuff for it. And the Chinese have realized that we are addicted to cheapness. And the Chinese have never forgotten the opium wars. Never. They have never forgotten that Roosevelt's uncle was a main supplier and owned factories in China to keep those people addicted to opium and went to war for it, and that's called the Boxer Wars.
Yep.
I always tell people
the opium wars, that was the British who was trying to do that, who did that.
The British and the Americans.
Yeah.
No, it was mainly British because the British got mad because they wouldn't allow them to sell products to trade with them because the Chinese told them they didn't need anything from them. Same thing with the Japanese. And I'll say this: I agree with you. They have long memories. Because I said one of the reasons why the Japanese, in my opinion, the Japanese invaded Pearl Harbor because nobody wanted the Americans to be involved in World War II. They didn't want them to be involved in it. One reason why the Japanese did that is because Commodore Perry pulled up into Tokyo Bay with all these ships and punked the Japanese like 50, 60 years earlier. And they were holding on to that. I will say this: these a lot of these Asian cultures, the Chinese and the Japanese, they don't let stuff go. The reason why the Chinese can't stand the Japanese right now, hate their guts, is because what the Japanese did to them during World War II.
Yep.
So all of it, this is where history comes into play. That whole getting back at somebody, yeah, that part right there, I agree with you on that. And so they have very long memories. They don't forget nothing.
What I'm saying, what I'm saying, trying to bring it back is I want to touch on what Philip said, because again, I'm limited on time now. I don't hate Hispanics. I don't hate Ukrainians. I don't hate any of those people. I do know that on November 5th, Palestinians and all of those people literally looked us in the face and told us, you can't take it any other way. Go fuck yourselves.
Right.
Y'all don't know. And we literally said, yes, we do. And we overwhelmingly voted for everybody's interests. And now we are in this existential threat of what are we going to do? And
yep, you're absolutely right.
What are we going to do? You have showed us. Well, in my neighborhood, every convenience store on my corner is owned by East Indians, Pakistanis, and because I don't want to be racist and say they all look the same. That's not what I'm just saying. From that region of the world,
right?
I'd rather right now go and open up, have Philip or somebody go open up a convenience store and it be the only one. I'm gonna sell him out before I go across the street. Once his cupboard is bare, I might go next door. Because I want Philip to be rich. I need him to be rich. I need billionaires to counteract the other billionaires. I need them. And until we get to the mindset where we say, like you said earlier, no, I might not be making much money as Rob Smith, but God damn, I need Robert Smith. God damn, I need Byron Allen. God damn, I need Oprah Winfrey. I need somebody with that type of money who looks at me to counteract this fool from South Africa. I need somebody. I got 3. They got 100. And until and then the other piece of that is I need Iraq war veterans and Italian people that just come in and say, look, y'all need to learn that if shit come down the pipeline, you have a contingency plan in place that y'all can organize and get together and form units that can be the bulwark for this shit that's talking about they're going to come into our neighborhoods and talk this shit and do what they want. They need to be clear that, how about this? The way I see this like this, Philip, we're the honey badgers in America. Don't nobody fuck with a honey badger in Africa. It ain't worth the cost. You can kill it, but you might maim your paw so bad that you can't go out and hunt. So I'm just going to avoid it. Every major animal in Africa sees that honey badger coming and says, it ain't worth the cost. I could kill it. It's like a mongoose. I could kill it, but the battle is so great that I can't really live a good life because he might maim me. He's dead now. I'm maimed. Mm-hmm. That's how we need to be. Yeah. We're a minority in this country. We're 42 million, 34 million registered, maybe 17 million voted. We need to start acting as such. Yep. We need you guys to say, here's my expertise. I'm gonna get a group of men. Y'all been in the military. Y'all know it don't take a lot of men. Mm-hmm. You know it. And Kenneth, we have this argument all the time. I say, don't tell me it doesn't work, because I can literally walk around the corner right now at 12 o'clock and watch a NOI sell bean pies, put his box down, and nobody touches that box. You can ask for a pie. You better not steal one. You given a pie and a lecture. Take it though. See what happens. Take a pie.
You know what part of the problem is, Leonard?
I'm listening.
As I stated earlier, and my wife is you know, I love her to death, but she's the sweetest person. She's forgiving about everything. We're too docile. We allow people to constantly treat us a certain way, and we've just got to stop. And you know, if they're gonna say, "Oh man, he's just an evil, mean black man or a black woman or whatever," you know what? Take that as a badge of honor, because that means you ain't gonna take shit from nobody. And
including our own. Including our own.
Yes, including our own. And I'll give you an example. Just happened recently. I know you're short on time. The property I have in Tennessee, there was a guy. He's a black guy. He had a car, new car, 2024 VW. They've been trying to repo it. So what he does is parks at the property next to ours, which is a new construction site. So they couldn't find it. Well, the construction site dropped some new gravel at the entrance, so he couldn't park there. So he thought it was okay to park in our driveway because nobody's in the house now because we just had lost some tenants, and so we're going to get some new tenants. So I'm doing work in there. So he felt the need, didn't ask, didn't say anything, just parked and had the nerve to put a car cover over it. So I'm like, you know, I was like, I'm gonna wait a couple of days before I call a tow truck. But I'm like, that goes back to my point where I said, we treat each other badly. You didn't respect me enough. You just knew, you know, I'm there every day working in that house. You didn't respect me enough to say, hey, bro, you know, I'm going through some hard times or whatever. Can I just put this vehicle here? It's the only means of transportation. You felt it was okay for you to just park your illegal shit in my driveway on my private property. See, that right there is a lack of respect. And that's what we've lost for each other. We don't respect each other enough to hold each other high enough to regards to say, hey, look, I respect you. Kenneth, you may not agree with me. Leonard, you may not agree with me, but I respect you, brothers, enough to not disrespect you.
No, I agree. Okay. I agree with that. Go ahead, Kenneth.
We before we get off, I got to get something off my chest. And
please.
Philip and I.
Let me tell him one thing. Every at the end of every show, I got to give Kenneth at least 3 minutes to either bring us some Augusta shit or some Tuskegee shit. That's only meant for audience of Tuskegee and Augusta people.
Oh no.
But I love him enough to say I'm gonna do that. So you go for it.
Okay. First of all, before I forget, you kiss my ass. That's number one. Number two, this is some Tuskegee shit, and you know, Philip and I both went to Tuskegee, but Philip wasn't there, but last weekend was their homecoming. Leonard, I told you that it was a 100th homecoming for Tuskegee. And although we lost the game, we were disappointed in that fact. But everybody was enjoying themselves until 1:30, 1:45 Sunday morning, when some idiots, and I really hate to call them idiots because that's an insult to idiots, came onto our campus and had a shootout. Motherfuckers who don't even go to Tuskegee, have no connection to the university at all, came onto the campus and had a shootout. Those of you who don't know, one young man who just graduated from high school, he wasn't a student there, he got killed. 16 other people got injured by gunfire. Countless other people, students, got injured by falling, scraping knees and stuff like that, minor injuries. I say that to say this. Those of us who attended Tuskegee, and if you went to an HBCU, period, I'm going to say this, and I said this on Sunday or Monday, whatever I did. Homecoming, those campuses are sacred places to us. If you never went to an HBCU, you probably won't understand. But an HBCU campus, to its students, its alumni, those are sacred places. You don't desecrate sacred places. Those are safe places Those are places. Homecoming is a time where you come back to see your friends, to lie about your past. Tell everybody, yeah, man, I was a player back in the day, man. I was knocking them down left and right. To sit around and talk shit for how many hours you can and tell the same stories that you've been telling for the last 20 years. The same damn stories over and over again. And every year you exaggerate more and more. And everybody knows you're exaggerating. But we love to hear the story.
Absolutely.
We love that shit. So for those motherfuckers to come on my campus, and although I never graduated from Tuskegee, I spent 2 years at Tuskegee, and I'll tell anybody who ever listens, Tuskegee is the reason I'm the man that I am today.
Amen.
I was raised in Augusta, Georgia. My foundation was set there, but Tuskegee took me to higher heights. And I still praise that place. And my son is there. So for them to desecrate my school, my sacred place, that hurt more than anything in the world to me. That hurt. And for these motherfuckers who have no connection to the school to come on there and do that shit, that pissed me off to, as Robin Harris said, to the highest festivity. I'm pissed off to the highest festivity. I can't get no more pissed off than this. And I'm serious. We need to stop this shit. Because 2 or 3 weeks earlier at Albany State, somebody got killed there. Knuckleheads who don't go to the school come in there, have a beef with somebody and shoot him. Morgan State, something happened at their homecoming last year. All of this stuff is, and I'm not saying this just because it's at an HBCU. I'm talking about this killing period. It's got to stop, man. And then on top of all of that, what's made things even worse, you have the president, and Philip and I both know him because he was at Tuskegee when I was it. He was the first alumni to ever be president of the university. Frat brother. Good dude. Retired, was it Major General, I think he was, his title was, in the Air Force. Yep. Worked for the U.S. Department of Education. Perfect fit for the school. He just got there a few months ago. Trying to make reforms, trying to build Tuskegee back up to where it's supposed to be, to the highest that it could be. And this happens. His first homecoming, 100th homecoming. And then you have people blaming him for the shit that those motherfuckers did. Like he actually let them come on the campus with guns and saying it's his fault. He shouldn't have let them on the campus. My son told me this, and I was thinking 30-something times. He said that they told him that there was over 41,000 people on campus that day. And that's just the people they got that paid for tickets to the game. We ain't talking about the other people out there. Philip, you know. There's people who go to the game in the tailgate area. Then you got those people who are just sitting around, milling around the campus, who don't even go to the game. Yep. So we're talking maybe 45,000 people on that campus. And people say, well, there wasn't enough security. There's no damn way you could have enough security and stop crime. New York City is mandated to have 38,000 police officers at every given moment. That's their mandate, the city mandate. 38,000 police officers. They have maybe about another 10,000 corrections officers. Then they have probation officers, parole officers, sanitation police. Every federal agency, law enforcement agency, is in New York City. And they still goddamn crime. So how do you expect people in that area to stop crime on Tuskegee's campus? It's an impossibility. I'm mad about what happened. And I'm also mad about the response. People blaming the school for what individuals did who have no connection to the school. Now, if the shooting had happened with employees of the school or something like that, blame the school. But you can't blame the university. You can't blame Dr. Brown and the administration for something that individuals who don't even belong on there did. You can't hold them And since that day, it's been less than a week. He has made major reforms to the school. Stuff that he probably had in thinking about doing anyway, but now it's an emergency situation. Because you got parents I don't want to use the term overreacting, but parents that are blaming him and want to take their child out of school because of what happened. And I can understand that knee-jerk reaction. I can understand. Like I said, my son goes there. Excuse me, my son goes there too. As a matter of fact, my son was supposed to DJ that party, which actually wasn't a party because they didn't have a DJ. He didn't do it, so they didn't have a DJ. They were just students gathering around. That's why there was no police protection there, because it was just a gather. They were just there. No music. Nobody playing music. They were just in the parking lot. And these people just drove up and started shooting. There was no way to stop that. I just want our community to understand that we have got to engage young people at a younger age, not wait till they're teenagers to try to engage them. Engage them when they're very small. Shoot, I would even say, even as babies, just keep telling them things and reinforcing it, because too many of our people are getting killed by too many of our people. It's crazy, man.
I'm gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna let us go. Because Philip said something that I didn't address that I wanted to address. You were 100% right when people say, "Can I get the hookup to a black business?" Whenever I get a black business, it's so bad. Whenever I contract a black business, I call and they give me a price. And if they hear pause, they start coming down off the price because they're so used to people asking them for a hookup. That now I say to guys that I use who are black for services I might need for the delivery service, I tell them off top, look, I'm not looking for the hookup. Just give me a fair market price because I know you got a business to run.
Exactly.
Know you got a business to run. I run one. So don't feel like you got to come. I've had people tell me, is that too high? And I'm like, nope, don't do that. Just give me a fair market price. You don't have to be too high. You don't have to be too low. Give me something that's going to make you money because I'm going to give the business to somebody. And to address what you said, there's always going to be some level of knuckleheadness in every community. And we just have to decide whether we're going to, as the biggest population of men, I say men of goodwill because that's the only thing I can describe. I didn't say perfect men, just men of goodwill. If we're going to set the rules of engagement, y'all military people, that happens in our community. We're going to have to decide that. We're going to have to decide what the rules of engagement are. Right now, I'll be totally honest with you, Kenneth, since I got elected as chair of the group, I've literally went around and talked to some of the street business people because it's not working the other way. I got to engage them to say, hey, look, you're going to do what you can do, but can we just keep it safe? You're responsible for your customers. I'm not. But what we are going to do, as I told some of them, we're going to start holding you responsible for your customers. You're making the money. When I go out, I got to do cost of business, right, Philip? I got to do cost of business. I got to pay for it. The cost of business has to be the same to you. Your customers screw up, you need to go take care of it. You don't want us to come take care of it. So with that being said, Philip, you're welcome to come back next week. Let me know if you want to, if you had time. I feel honored that you came on. Marion, you have no excuse. Like Kenneth said.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Marion, you don't have any excuse.
Hey, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Anybody that takes the Republican side of you can come on and talk to us. We'd love to hear your point of view. You might catch a lot of bullshit from me, but hey, you earned it.
For me too.
Please do. If you got the last word.
Couple
words.
Okay, one other thing too. I want to say, I want to show some love to two people that I know that died recently. One, Arnold Sinclair, Glen Hills alum. He died yesterday. Found that out last night. So sending love out to his family, love and blessings to his family, and also the family of a good friend of mine, the Witherspoons. My brother Robert Witherspoon, his son, his daughter-in-law died the other day from a long illness. So sending love to them. Just want to let y'all know, keep these people in your prayer. And I got word. My son told me he was going to the funeral today of one of his friends. Her mother died. So this is a lot going on. Y'all, just somebody used to tell me, just stay prayed up, y'all. Yep. Whether you believe in God or not, just pray to whatever God you believe in, and just try to be safe, y'all. Please keep each other in love. Never forget to tell everybody in your life that you love them. I even love the two of them. I don't like them, but I love them. So
the feel is mutual. The feel is mutual.
Having said that, y'all, please be safe. Have a good week, and God willing, we'll be back here next Saturday. Talking.
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
Y'all better get to work. You better get to work. Better get to work.
Absolutely.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.